For everybody that has stumbled across this video in any sort of way, whether that's search, whether that's homepage, or even shared by anybody, I'm guessing it was stumbled to you for a reason. And if that's the reason is that you're struggling in life or going through hard moments, I don't wish for you to skip it or look past it. Because always realize that there's always people that have gone through the same thing and realize how you're feeling. And those people are just the ones you shouldn't avoid. And sometimes some people are worth listening to because they may have something to say and show that will change your aspect and viewpoint on life. And realize that from the thumbnail, it might not be tonight, it might not be tomorrow, or even the next day, not the next week, not the next month, not the next year, depending on anything. But always know that everything in the future will always be okay. Always know. I have lived a hard life, and I always will remember that and admit it. Life has never been the easiest. I've been challenged throughout every day of my life and challenged to do things that people shouldn't have to go through. Abandonment from parents twice, the loss of loved ones and people you care about has constantly happened in my life. But in order to keep on moving forward, is just to not give up. You have to keep fighting all your life and prove to life that you want it and that you cherish it. And I always want you to value every day that you wake up and value the people around you, value your life, value your parents, value your family, value your friends. Because some people don't ever wake up, whether that's sickness or just natural causes. Some people just don't wake up. I want you to be grateful for every second, every day, all the time, that when you fall asleep at night, that you always wake up in the morning. And I want you to put a smile on your face when you do, because not everybody has that. You should always love life, no matter how hard it is. If you truly believe that everything will be okay, then it will be. You can't spend the whole life dwelling and obsessing and stressing on everything that's so small and everything that affects you in so much negative ways. You have to be living life, and every single memory that comes across of you, you have to cherish it and you have to soak it all up. You have to cherish every memory you have and cherish all the people you have. And those people that stick around you will always be the ones that always will. Don't ever give up. All you have to do is get rid of the bad energy. Don't think about the bad memories. Bad memories will drain you and cause you to dwell. The way I look at bad memories is that I've moved on from a lot of them and I learned from them. And to be honest, they kind of shaped the person I am today. The person that doesn't give up, the person that keeps on fighting no matter what situation is put in front of them in life, and the person that will always cherish and love life no matter what's thrown at them. Because every single day becomes slightly recovered and slightly better to the point where I'm a happy soul and happy person again. And some of that just takes time, and you have to realize that everybody would want everything to come all at once, to just feel better in a matter of days, seconds, minutes, hours, but realize that's just not possible. The more quicker you try to do it, the worse it's going to become for you. It will all just take time. It can't happen in one day, 2 days, 3. Some people it takes years and months, weeks. And that's something you just have to realize and know. If you try so hard to fix everything so fast, it isn't going to make you happy. And you're truly not going to move on and forget. You have to stay strong every second of the day. And realize that when life is hard and people make it harder that you want to help, realize some people you just can't make right and you just can't save. And some of those bad people, you just have to let them go because it will cause stress on your life. That's just one avoidance thing that you need. In my current life right now, I've loved a lot of people. A lot of people have left me. I've lost so much. I lost the girl I love deeply. And I had to lose her. Not because I don't love her, not because I don't care about her, not because I hate her, but because I love her. And it's only because sometimes when you're in a bad spot in life and you're not mentally there and you realize that you're hurting a lot of the other people in your life because you're not there. Sometimes those people need to be happier. And if you want them to be happy and you're not fulfilling that because of the hard time you're going through, sometimes you have to let people go because you love them. I let her go because I love her. And I wanted her to be happy. I don't doubt that I never made her happy, but to make your life a lot better without stress anymore is where I had to let her go because I couldn't fulfill everything for her because of the hard time I was going through. And letting her go so I can self-improve and I can do better and she could be happier with someone. And I did it out of love. And I think that builds strong character. And one of the greatest things you can do is if someone will ever tell you that you have an issue, if someone will ever tell you that something's wrong, I think a great step in improvement is realizing that there is something wrong and that you do need to fix it and do whatever it takes to fix it. If that's if letting the person you love go, even though you love them and you don't want to. It's only just to help them and also to help yourself. And I always want her to know that her love is still with me. And I won't forget her. But I do want her to be happy. And I do want everyone to realize that breakups are hard for everybody. Losing people you love is hard for everybody. But I also want you to realize that once all that is lost, if you ever wanted another relationship, don't ever try to find it right away. Ever. Because those situations are not something you should try to rebound off of. Or you should try to, constantly find someone after that. Because in times like this is where you need to mourn the losses and you need to move on slowly and help yourself first and focus on your priorities and bigger things in life. If you try to move on so fast with everything else, you're not really truly moving on. And you're still at a bad state of mind and bad state of life. So please, take your time and you will be okay. And always let the person you let go know it's okay. I still care. I still love you. But I need self improvement. And without that self improvement, I need you to be happy. And that is letting you go, then I have to do that. Now, on another note, don't ever have anything handed to you in life. That creates an experience where once you're put through a situation that you don't have experience that to be handed to, you kind of just sit there in confusion and just like, wow, what do I do? You know? If you want something in life, you have to be eager and you have to put in the motivation and will to have it and want it. And if you want change and you want improvement, you have to seek it out. That goes to that. You can't have happiness handed to you. You have to work for your happiness because that's where true happiness comes. And if you want something in life, just go and get it. And actions will always speak louder than words. You can't ever say you're sorry for anything. You can't ever say you're going to change. You can't ever tell people you're better when you're not. The way to show them and the way that you know for sure for yourself is through actions and realizing, yeah, I have changed. I'm doing everything that I did before differently than how I did it. You know, that is very possible. And I hate the fact that some things are really hurtful on people. People are hurt. People are, you know, are, let's just say, badly influenced and are told a lot of things that people don't like. And that's all, off social media. And that's off comment sections, all that stuff. Now, this stuff is, I want you to avoid social media if you're ever in a bad spot in life. And I don't want you to read anything said about you or said about anything else because some people are not good. And some people will just love to bring you down. And a lot of it happens to be over social media as well. And I don't want that for anybody. I think you should avoid that stuff and self-improve yourself on your own. And don't be told things negatively by people. You should only be told advice from people that you trust and know that will be there for you. And I think for some people, parents might be good. Some people are their family, some people friends. But for some people that don't have that, that's what I'm here for. And that's what other people are here for, through these kind of videos. All you have to do is look at the right ones. And I want you to surround those people, I want you to surround yourself with those people that are willing to help you, willing to care, and know that there will always be a support out there for you. And stay away from fake people. The real ones, the real people out there for you will always, in conversations and talks and opinions, we either engage, challenge, and add on. They will never just agree and act like they know, act like they care. Those people are just fake. People that don't care about your relationship. And people that, if any moment, they can just let you go. And that's all I've dealt with my life. It was a lot harder for me to find real people and people that actually do want to be friends and, want to hang out and like me for who I am. Very few. But there's no issue in going out and seeking people who feel that way towards you. People that care. people that do want to be friends and like the way you are. There's always people out there. In fact, there's about 8 billion. So it's just a matter of finding them, and if you want to find them. And don't ever pretend to be someone you're not, just to impress anybody. People don't want to see somebody faking their feelings and faking how they are, when really, when you're alone, just shows who you really are. And I want you to be true to about everyone, but also know there's limits. And I think those limits should be managed. And for example, one of those limits could be people that are very brutally honest about things. Sometimes that's a bad thing to have with people, and I think you should always pay attention to that and show care in what you say, but also knowing that being brutally honest is only meant for certain situations. But perfect people don't exist. Nobody can ever be perfect. Everybody is always going to have something that they need to work on, and that's okay. There's no shame in that. Nobody is going to live a perfect life, and nobody will live a perfect life ever. Nobody in life has ever lived perfectly. No matter how much they express, no matter how rich you are, no matter how beautiful and good relationship you have, no matter how much friends you have, no matter how great of a family you have, nobody's life has ever been perfectly good. And that's something that everybody should believe and know. Life isn't always going to be fun, good, happy. And that's what life puts you through. Life will always give you challenges. Life will always put you through hard situations. Life will always put you through the hardest moments of your entire lifespan. All for one reason. It's to test your will and mind power and strength to carry on and keep going and learn to still enjoy life, and if you really want it. And I think that you should always value every day that you live. Value every time you wake up. Value every second of life. And value all your friends, family. And if you're in a relationship, value that. Because some people don't have those things. Some people don't wake up. Some people don't have a life anymore. And that could be due to anything. You have a life. If you're watching this video, you still have a life. And there's still people who care. Still people that are there. You have to think about them and find them and know them. And honestly, I'm making this video as well because I am going through one of the hardest moments in my life. But I also believe all this. And putting this out there into the internet and knowing that I can make a difference potentially in someone's life and help other people. And being told that, hey, you've changed me. You've helped me. It's something I want to be remembered for. And something I want to realize that I've helped more people. And I that's my reason I feel for life, is to go through hard experiences and keep living and not giving up and motivate others to feel the same and do the same. Because everything does get better. Everything has gotten better for me. But then, not everything is going to be perfect still. Things will pop up no matter what. And life is just testing you. But if I keep on going and moving forward and not giving up, that's my reason for living. And that's what makes a strong person. Tough times don't last. But those times create tough people that do. It's a common phrase, and it's perfect. If I keep forward, that makes me a tougher person every single time I go through something hard. To the point where if something happens again, it would become better and better and better. So before I die, I want to know that I lived. I lived a good life, keeping my head up, and lived a successful and fulfilled life to the point where I helped other people and I helped myself throughout every single situation I've gone through. And I was a strong individual. And anybody can do it. People have done it many times. And that's what I believe in. And you can believe it too. And I'm not trying to ever force you to believe anything. If you want to believe your own things, that's okay. You know? People can't take what you believe in or take away. Because it's you. It's what makes you. And it's in you. People can influence it. But if you don't want to believe it, then don't believe it. Believe what you want to do. Think for yourself, not for others. And don't think things because of others, what they tell you. Have your own thoughts. Have your own mind. And be in control of yourself. And for the fake people, don't ever listen to people if they won't listen to you. Those people want control over your life. And they just don't feel a relationship with you. And in life, going up from a kid to a teenager to an adult, through teenage years, I want you to always be happy if you're still a teenager. I mean, I'm 17, almost 18, but I have everything I want right now. I have a car, I have money, I have a job, and I'm happy with everything I have of that stuff, you know, because I enjoy all that stuff. If you don't like your car, then get a new one. If you don't have the money, find ways to get that money. If you have a job, you don't like it, why you still work there? Find a job that you enjoy. You need to find things that fulfill your happiness and motivate yourself to gain those things. Again, you can't have everything handed to you in life. That's for weak people. And once those weak people are put into a situation where they need to work to get something, that's where you become clueless and more at need of help. And I don't think that, even though I give this advice, even though I say all these things to people, and maybe some people may believe that I don't tell this to myself, everything I'm telling you is coming from my thoughts, coming from my perspective. It's coming from what I believe. And I believe everything I'm saying. And I'm only encouraging you and trying to motivate you. I'm not forcing you to believe anything. But what I'm telling you will be helpful in your life and will always help you if you remember it. But I don't ever give advice if I can't take none. I will always take criticism constructively if it's good for me. But I will never listen to people who criticize me for things that are not wrong, because that's them in the wrong. I will never listen to people who try to bring me down or try to put negative thoughts in my head, because keeping that strong mentality is perfect for your happiness. And life is too short to be worrying on those things and all these little things and all these stressful events and, hard times. It's too short. Sometimes you just gotta make the best out of it. You have to make it worth living, and you have to create happiness within yourself. You can't always be happy. You don't want to. You can say you want to, but choose not to because of the motivation. It means you just don't want to work towards it. You can't waste your time thinking about how life could be and how much you lost when you can be living life knowing that you can make better times and make up for everything that you've lost, because it's very possible. And you should always know that it just takes the will to try. I fear myself not trying something that I will regret. So to counter that, I try everything. And if nothing seems to work, sometimes you just gotta let that thing go. But trying is the first step of motivation. First action of motivation. And you can still change. Everybody can change. Anyone could change. It's never too late. Even if you've done something bad and you're at the point of your last moments in life, it was never still too late to change everything or anything at all. The way that can change is realizing what you've done, knowing that some of those things are wrong, but also forgive yourself. If you're feeling horror about things in your past that you may have caused, if you still think about, but sometimes just realizing that everything you did was wrong in that kind of situation is a good change. So that's just one example of how people that do really bad things and at final moments learn somewhat of a change. Meaning that's not impossible to change in any sort of way, of course. But for people that are, living life and everything and going through really hard times, and not everything is always your fault. But sometimes you do make mistakes, in life, and every single mistake in your life is an experience that if you learn to change from it, that experience will never happen again. And it's just a motivation and things you should believe that you want to do all those changes, and you don't have to worry anymore. I learned from my mistakes, and honestly, I think very hard about them. And I realize with things I've done wrong, and realize what I could have done, but use those what I could have done, and use them the next time that something similar happens, so that mistake is never made again. It would never mostly happen first try. Sometimes the mistakes will recur until you get into your head that those ways that you thought about how to fix it finally kick in, and then you avoid it. And in my life, I have been abandoned by 2 families, and I've been adopted by a family in the past, and honestly, I think one thing people shouldn't do is, the phrase like biting on the hand of the person that made you. Said by someone, I know, not gonna name them, but that person, those parents, I did bite on the hand that made me, or the people that made me. Those are my parents. Not everything was my fault, I realize now, but some of it was. And that's what caused me to leave and get kicked out and then sort of abandoned. And I learned from those mistakes after that. It took time, but I did. And for people that are in the adoption community, where kids that are waiting to be adopted by parents, I have gone what you have gone through. I have struggled what you've been struggling. And I feel everything for you. And realize that don't dwell, don't think about so much negative things that nothing good will ever happen. I want you to always keep your head up and believe and hope and have faith that everything will happen. You know, hope is, there's a difference between you can have an unrealistic hope and you can have a realistic hope. And between the two is where something will actually happen. An unrealistic hope would be, I want to become president by tomorrow. That's an unrealistic hope. You can hope so hard you can hope so hard for every second of the day for that to happen. But it won't just happen. A realistic hope would be, in the next, then my whole life, I do want to become president. I hope that happens. And maybe someday you will. Can't really put a time frame on that. And if you have a realistic hope that in the future you get adopted, then don't let go of that hope, ever. Because good things happen to people that keep their head up and don't give up. My whole life, I got adopted at 16. And the reason for that is I was a very positive, upbeat person that never gave up on my life and always knew that there was a family out there that was searching for me and always wanted me and that would love and care for me. And I never gave up on that hope. I never put a time limit on it. I never put anything of that. I always just hoped in the future, anytime. Even if I did become 18, I still wouldn't believe that there's nobody out there that would want to be my parent. And at age 15, I realized that there were people looking for me. And I got accepted by this family. And they were the family that loved me and cared about me and never gave up on me. And not letting go of that hope and keeping my head up and being positive is what led me to be with them. I believe if anyone ever do the same, that the same would happen. And for people that try to bring you down, cut them out. Only bring in people that you know care, loyal, trustworthy, honest, and people that want to help you. And don't be afraid to make decisions you think will benefit you in any way. Always make decisions that you think will improve you and improve everybody else as well. But always focus on yourself, because sometimes being a people pleaser isn't the best thing. You can't try to focus so much on making other people happy when you're not happy yourself. For everybody out there struggling or going through any sort of hard time, it might not be tonight, it might not be tomorrow, or even the next day. Not next month, not next week, not next year. But in time, everything is going to be okay. And I hope that you find your happiness, and I hope that you find the motivation and find someone to love, find good, loyal friends, find good family. And I hope that you cherish and love your life and value everything of it, because some people don't get a life anymore. And for you to live still is still a great thing in life and something to always look at. Value every second you wake up. Every single time you wake up, I want you to smile and realize that you're alive. And if you're alive, you're able to do everything I told you. Never give up. And in time, everything will be okay. I love you all.